First fact we have, nearly all the events covered by the Bible took place in a part of world known today as the Near East. Luke chapter 9 verse 51 tells us that Jesus resolutely set out for Jerusalem. Luke's words emphasize that Jesus was determined to see his mission through to its end, that is, to his death in Jerusalem. The Holy Land is given a number of names in the Bible. In the time of Abraham and the Exodus, it was known as Canaan, and the original inhabitants were known as Canaanites. Canaan became known as the Promised Land because it is the land promised to Abraham and his descendants, and also Israel because the descendants of Israel, another name for Jacob, settled there. When the kingdom of Israel divided into two, the northern kingdom kept the name Israel, while southern kingdom was called Judah. David was descendant from the tribe of Judah, which had chosen him as their king from the beginning. David was descended from the tribe of Judah. That was the information from the Bible facts. Now next Bible facts we have is the kingdom of Israel and its capital city Samaria were conquered by the Assyrians, who resettled the population in other parts of the empire. The northern kingdom was then repopulated by foreigners who eventually became known as Samaritans. Judah was all that was left of the original Israel after the conquest by Babylon. The people of Judah were deported to Babylon, but were later allowed to return to Jerusalem. Judea was the name of this small district within the Persian Empire. In AD 135, the Romans renamed the country Palestine, taking the name from the Palestinians who lived along the coast and with whom the Romans were familiar. To them, the whole country was Palestine country. When the Israelites first came to Canaan, it was cosmopolitan center of international trade with strong fortified cities. The hill city, however, was relatively unpopulated. The land of Moab, Ruth's home, was a strip of arable land in the Transjordan, lying between the Dead Sea and the desert, with the Amnon River to the north and the Jared River to the south. Following successive conquest by many empires, from the Babylonian Empire to the Roman Empire, many Jews were dispersed to other lands. These Jews, known as diaspora Jews, attempt to maintain their heritage in these foreign lands. Then we have some more Bible facts. Caesarea Philippi was in northern Palestine on the southern slopes of Mount Hermon. It was outside the Galilee and was the capital of the province ruled over by Herod Philip. Nineveh was on the east bank of Tigris River, more than 500 miles away from Israel. King Sennacherib made it the capital of Assyria in about 700 BC. When commanded to go to Nineveh, Jonah headed for Tarshish in the opposite direction. Tarshish was located in the south of Spain, 2,000 miles away from Palestine. Roman milestones were placed along the fine roads built by the Romans. A Roman soldier were permitted by law to force a civilian to carry his pack from one milestone to another. At the time of Christ Jesus, large Jewish populations could be found in cities such as Rome, Alexandria, Antioch, and Ephesus. Paul was a diaspora Jew from the city of Tarsus, Cilicia. Romans chapter 16 bears witness to the extent to which people traveled about the Roman Empire, very often for commercial reasons. Archaeological excavations at Ur, the city from which Abraham came, show that 500 years before the time of Abraham, Ur was a wealthy and important city. Intricate works of art in gold and other precious metals reveals a standard of workmanship rarely surpassed in latest age. The citizens of Ur worshipped the moon as did the people of Haran. 560 miles further north where Abraham and his family settled. After the death of Abraham's father, Abraham and his wife and nephew traveled to southern Canaan. After further 450 miles. And last Bible trivia for today we have is the city of Philippi was located in Macedonia in the mountains. It was named after Philip Macedon, the father of Alexander the Great. The city was the district capital and took on the air of Roman imperial outpost. Dear listeners, thank you for watching on YouTube and listening to Bible Facts on the radio. Now